Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather. I have a really nice range of different watch straps to show you today. Before we get to that, let's take a preview of everything in the video. We have an amaretto shell Cordovan watch strap, a black shell Cordovan watch strap, an intense blue shell Cordovan with an alligator print watch strap, a raw shell Cordovan watch strap, a black Dublin Apple Watch band, a color number 8 shell Cordovan two-piece strap, a black marbled shell Cordovan strap, a black shell Cordovan with a Western texture strap, a color number 4 with a hatch grain print watch strap, a Cigar shell Cordovan watch strap, a raw shell Cordovan Frank the Enforcer, a color number 8 reverse one-shot card holder, an English tan Dublin one-shot card holder, a 100% Cobalt blue Dublin Johnny the Fox, a natural shell Cordovan with a reverse interior Johnny the Fox, a natural Chrome XL Tony the Ant, a color number 4 shell Cordovan Tony the Ant, and a natural Chrome XL Johnny the Fox. Alright, so I thought it would be helpful for me to bring out some of the watches that I've collected over the years or have been loaned to me to show you how the different colors of shell Cordovan and even some non-shell Cordovan pair with each of the different watch styles. And there's a couple in here that really strike me as interesting. But let's start off on the top. This is an amaretto shell Cordovan two-piece watch strap. This one appears to be in our 20 millimeter lug width. And we do have several different widths of our straps for different lug widths. We go from 18 up to 24 millimeters. And we also have two different lengths. So you can see the strap on top there is a little bit shorter than this black strap. And this is our short length. This is 105 millimeters. The longer piece is 120. We pair the shorter length, the 105, with the 70, and the 120 with an 80. So most people will want to pick the regular length, the 120 by 80. If you have a more narrow wrist, you might want to pick the shorter length of the 170 or 105 by 70. So I think this amaretto goes nicely with basically any of these watch faces. This top one here is like a brushed nickel. I think that looks pretty cool, but also with this Seiko, more of like a Rolex looking style there, it seems to match pretty well with all of these different faces. It might even go best on sort of this brass face on the bottom here. Now this watch, this is a Seiko, and I'm not a watch guy, so I don't know too much about this specific model or any of the models, but this piece I think goes very nicely with the black shell Cordovan. Just take a look at the sleekness of that. Very, very cool. And I should mention that all of the watch straps that you see here, these are all Unlined watch straps, and they're all shell Cordovan. So the reverse side of the strap, the part that's going to touch your wrist, is also Cordovan. And what's great about it is because it's a veg tan leather, it wears in very nicely and it will mold around your wrist. So here's a fun strap, and this one is also unlined, although there is some sort of tonal stitching around the edge. It's not much of a functional stitch on a lot of the edges. This customer had the idea to make this contrasting or tonal blue thread with the intense blue gator shell Cordovan. And I thought this one looked really nice on the sort of nickel face, but it could work on any of the other ones. It might actually look pretty cool on this brass face here. And I happen to know this customer's watch has more of a blue face on the inside, but the blue and green kind of looks neat together as well. Up next, this is a raw shell Cordovan two-piece strap. And I thought this one has sort of like a modern look to it because it's a little bit more of a matte finish on the raw shell Cordovan. It has not been glazed and polished like all of the other shells, so it has a subtle sheen to it, but it's very much a dull effect. And I thought that went nicely with this more of a modern face. The raw shell on this one looks really cool with the black face. Up next, this is a color number 8 shell Cordovan two-piece strap. And I thought this one, with that classic color of the shell Cordovan, went nicely with sort of a classic look on this watch. I'll give you a look at the undersides of these straps. And one more thing to mention is the keepers for the buckle side here. The bottom keeper here, this one is fixed in place, but the top one slides. All right, here's the black marbled shell Cordovan, and I thought this one went best with this green face. Check that out. That's really cool. The black marbled sort of has the same colors that I see in this watch, with a little bit of that brass, sort of like an orangey tan to a green, and the face of this watch is a green. So this black marbled shell Cordovan matches this one about perfectly. Now here's a watch strap that I'm really excited about. I was pretty happy with how this turned out. So this is a black shell Cordovan, but it has a Western texture on it. And we just did yesterday, I showed some black Chrome Excel belts with this Western texture. I thought those belts looked really nice, but check out how it pairs with that watch. I'm pretty excited about the different textures that we've seen on some of these straps today, like the Gator earlier. And I do have one more texture to show you. So here's another texture. This is we're calling it a hatch grain. And I believe this color is color 4. It might be a cognac. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes with the colors of shells once they've been printed, because it changes the color a little bit when they press down on the leather. But this hatch grain is very subtle. Hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that texture. It's a nice little grain character in there. Sort of like I don't know what you'd call this. Sort of like a hatch grain, let's call it. This one also has a nice contrasting stitch on the outside. I thought this strap turned out nicely too. And I have another 2-piece strap to show you here. This one is in Cigar shell Cordovan. That's a really cool look with the white numbers on this face. I think the Cigar is really neat, and it kind of looks like this color 8. So maybe we can just show you a demonstration here of the difference between the color 8 and Cigar. The color 8, and we've finished the edge on this one to have a matching color 8 edge to it. But the color 8 is definitely more purple and burgundy in color. And I think both of those go very nicely with this sort of modern look. And I have one more watch to show you. This one is an Apple Watch and a Dublin strap. So this is a black Dublin 2-piece watch strap. And this customer asked for some orange contrasting thread. I think this looks really, really neat. Take a look at that. The orange thread on the buckle right next to that black hardware is really cool. And we do 2 different Apple Watch finishes for hardware. So this is the black finish, but we also have sort of a nickel silver finish. I suggest pairing that color to whatever your watch is. So this is a black Apple Watch. I think the black hardware goes best with the black watches. But let's take a little look here at this piece. This is a piece of extra thick Dublin. This is actually belt weight Dublin. And it might be difficult to see there, but that's super thick. Let's look at a regular strap. Here's the black marbled strap from earlier, just to compare the thickness for you. It's roughly 3 times the thickness. And I think with the Apple Watch, it might work nicely. I'm curious to get some feedback from this customer who had asked for a special Dublin strap. And I want to get into some wallets as well that we're shipping out today, but let me give you a day 53 update on the 100% English tan Johnny the Fox that I've been wearing. And I'm really enjoying this one. It's surprising me how much I've been enjoying this particular Johnny the Fox. I'm a Fat Herbie kind of guy, but I'm trying to get my hand on some of the different wallets to show you how they wear in and age, and maybe even get a little bit more insight for myself for how these wear in, and I can explain to our customers a little bit better. Take a look at the outside here. This is the thing I wanted to point out for you. The difference between the right side and the left side. See the little light spot right here on the right? It's been pretty hot in Chicago, and I've been walking around a lot trying to get my 10,000 steps. And what happens is when you wear this and it touches your body, it heats up the wax a little bit. So that light spot is actually the wax melted in. And I can show you this color you're seeing is actually the undertone of the leather. Underneath the wax is what that light color is. If I flex the leather here, you can get a really good sense of what I'm talking about. We're just displacing the wax layer on the surface to reveal some of those lighter undertones. So that's what I'm seeing here on the edge, or on the one side of the wallet. It's lined up, melting a little bit of the wax. I'm really happy with how the Dublin is developing. It's molding nicely around everything I put in it. I think that color is spectacular, and it's developing a nice patina as well. And here's another 100% Dublin wallet, but this is in the Cobalt Blue Dublin. A few people have picked these up over the last day, and we're sending them out today. I can't wait for you to have this. This Cobalt Blue Dublin on the outside is very interesting. It's sort of like an aqua blue, and we get that incredible grain character of the Dublin leather. On the inside, we have more Cobalt Blue Dublin, and these are specially made for us. This is a recent product offering for us. We had to have custom thin pieces of horsehide made for the interior of this Johnny the Fox. because the normal stuff we use, we don't like to thin down because it reduces the integrity and the strength of the leather. So we have to pick naturally thin pieces of leather, and the horse hides are naturally thinner. So we had those custom made in the Cobalt Blue Dublin for the interior. I do believe that we have a couple of the 100% Cobalt Blue Dublin available, and I know that we have a couple of the 100% English Tan as well. Let me give you a look here at our one-shot card holder. This is a very simple card case. This one is in that English Tan Dublin as well, and you can see on the spine there on the side where the waxes have been flexed. That's what I was demonstrating on my Johnny the Fox. You have a little bit of a color range and a tonal range in the Dublin leather, and that's because it's finished with a hard wax. When you flex and crease the leather, we displace a little bit of that wax, and you can see a little bit of the lighter undertones. Here's another one-shot card holder. This one is in color number 8 reverse shell Cordovan, and it does not look like the color 8 at all, that burgundy shade that we've all come to know and love. That's because the inside of the leather, or the inside of the one-shot here, that's the color 8. In there, the unintended reverse side of the leather is this interesting random tan shade, and we get random dye marks that I like an awful lot, and we also have an opportunity to show off the Horween ink stamp on the outside. So we're starting small today and getting a little bit bigger, from the watch straps to the one shots. Now we've got the Frank the Enforcer. This is a minimalist card holder that I suggest to a lot of front pocket wearers, and this one is a small batch that we did. I think we made about 5 or 6 of these in the raw shell Cordovan, and the raw shell Cordovan is incredible for the way that it ages. It develops a very nice patina. The color deepens and darkens, and the luster becomes a bit brighter and shinier. You can see here it's a little bit dull, has a subtle sheen to it, but the more you wear this one, the more glass-like it becomes. Now here's a very nice Johnny the Fox. When I picked this one up earlier to give it a final little polishing, it really struck me how nice the natural shell Cordovan on the outside of this Johnny the Fox is. Very nice shiny luster, really beautiful shade, sort of like an orange at some angles and a little bit lighter, less red at other angles. Check out the inside though. On the interior of this, we have a color number 8 reverse interior, and I like how we've polished this one up just very subtly. It's not bright and shiny like the shell Cordovan, but it has a very nice face on the reverse shell interior here. We do a little process called hand glazing on some of these wallets, and that's what gives us this nice bit of sheen to the surface of the leather. Up next, this is a Tony the Ant in natural chromexcel. Take a look at that really nice piece of natural chromexcel. Sort of like an ivory shade, with lighter undertones, a little bit more of a light brown surface color. It sort of has that same idea of the Dublin where we reflects the leather. We can reveal a little bit of the lighter undertones. In fact, the chromexcel leather was one of the original pull-up leathers for that reason. You can find chromexcel in this natural color in a lot of footwear around the world. It was very commonly used in boat shoes for many, many years, and now we see it all over the place in boots and shoes. I actually have some diesel boots from Grant Stone in this color that I really, really like. And here's another Tony the Ant. This time it's in color number 4 shell Cordovan. Very bright, shiny, mirror-like finish on the shell Cordovan. And the color number 4, for many years, this was one of my favorite shell Cordovan colors. I like this color because it's a medium brown with a little bit of red. Some angles, it's a little bit more of like a caramel shade, which I really like. But that's a really nice piece of color 4 shell here with the Horween ink stamp right in the center. And the last wallet to show you today, these are all shipping out today. I can't wait for you to have these. This is a natural chromexcel Johnny the Fox. Again, just like on this Tony the Ant here, for a really beautiful piece of natural chromexcel. Those lighter tan undertones, a little bit more of a brown surface color. And this chromexcel is characterized by really rich, waxy, and oily feel. So when you get this one in your hand, just observe like how nice and rich that feels. There's not many, in fact, I don't think there's any leather in the world that feels this rich. So that's a great thing about the Horween stuff, is they put a lot of extra material. When they tan the leather, they put it into it in a process called hot stuffing. So it has almost 50% of this leather is waxes, oils, and grease, which is part of why it's a little bit more expensive. But Horween, it's just not very compromising on their tanning process. They do it the same way that they've done for the last 100 years. And I can really see why. It's an expensive product to make, but I think the result is undeniably awesome. So I have a stunner of the day, and I've been thinking about this one I think this strap, the black shell Cordovan with the Western texture, this one blew me away, especially when I put it into context. When I put the watch with the strap, I just think that is super interesting. I really like that look a lot. So that's my stunner of the day. Let me know what you guys thought. I also thought the runner-up should probably be this intense blue gator, because I think that's more of like a classic, more traditional style, is that texture of the gator. And on the intense blue shell, that's very, very cool. So let me know what you thought. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Until next time, have a good one.